All right, it's your boy Boss Cowboy. Definitely getting ready to give another Measure Kool-Aid report on Tony Pollard. Because obviously Tony Pollard is very interesting because day one, he's always been somebody that's extremely fast. He's been somebody that's an extremely a good football player. I actually did a video on him where I'm gonna go into way more. Where I went into way more details. Okay, you gotta check it out. I'm not gonna go into much detail, but I'm gonna put it in the description. But it's Boss Cowboy's full analysis of Tony Pollard. It's worth it. You gotta check it out. But obviously he's also polarizing, right? He's very polarizing, more so because the media likes to make it a controversial thing when it's actually not. They make it seem as if, and this is a lot. Some people, they sincerely don't see it the way that I see it, and that's fine. Some people are drumming up this false competition between Pollard and Zeke, right? When there's really no competition. It's more so about Kellen Moore being able to use Pollard better, okay? And it's a lot of people that say Tony Pollard is the better running back. I mean, you hear that a lot. I guess if you judging from just breakaway speed, yes. But the more complete running back when healthy, and it's not even a doubt, is Zeke. He blocks better. He's more physical. He's gonna literally bring a lot of pain to a defense, which you don't get with Tony Pollard. With Pollard, you go get the occasional break. Yes, he's gonna break occasionally, but he's not somebody that's gonna move the pile like a Zeke. He's not. And if you're trying to control a game and you trying to manage a game and you want to try to start with 2nd down and 7 or 2nd down and 6 as much as possible, you're gonna do better when you start on 1st down with Zeke. You are, because you're not gonna break every play. A lot of plays is gonna be on that 1st down. It's gonna be who can move this pile when there's a stalemate, and that's clearly Zeke. So if you value 2nd and 7, which opens up your playbook, or 2nd and 6, which open up your playbook way more and way better, then you would start Zeke. And that's where a lot of the controversy is also coming from. Because if you look at what Jerry said, right, and we go take a look at it. So Jerry Jones on the NFL Network said Ezekiel Elliott has to be our featured back. And he is our featured back. We can feature him in a lot of different ways. It's critical that we make Zeke really the focus of what we're doing. Now, there's also plenty of room for Tony Pollard. So obviously that sparked a lot of hypocritical false outrage. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, most of this outrage is not even real. Most of this outrage is only about getting clicks. That's what it's about. Some people actually really disagree, but most of this is about clicks. And we go just kind of sum this up. So obviously, Kyle Brandt, obviously on the NFL Network, when they came out with Jerry said what he said, he came out and said, ridiculous. What a joke. Free Tony Pollard. So, this is the only place to where there's a 2-back system controversy. Every other team that uses 2 backs, they don't all of a sudden say, oh, we got to make a decision and go back to the 90s to where we feature only one back. Everybody accepts the fact that there are two backs that are used with different situations. Except for the Dallas Cowboys, it has to be controversy. It just has to. It got to be, I think Tony Pollard is better. I think Zeke is better. That's just how it has to be. Even though, and this is what a lot of people don't put together, is what I said. Nah, the Cowboys right. Two different styles. I'm basically saying Jerry right. Zeke is built for violence and physical. That weight is forgotten in football, and it really is, because a lot of people look at football as averages. They say, "Oh, Tony Pollard has a higher average, therefore he's a better running back," and they don't talk about how Randall had a much higher average than Murray. They don't talk about how Jones had a much higher average than Barber. They don't talk about it. But in this new age of creating controversy, what they do is they make the false case that the better your average, the better you are as a running back. They don't talk about situations. They don't talk about who's running on first downs. They don't talk about who's the closeout back, which go hurt your averages. All of that. That's why Barber was the better back, because he was the closeout back. Jones was the change of pace back. So he threw the defense off when you threw him in there, because he was coming in there with a lot of speed. But that was after Barber wore you down. We understood it then. We don't get it now. We just don't get it. So it's a false controversy. So that's one thing I want to say about Pollard and this whole Pollard situation. The second thing is, a lot of our fans, to be honest, are falling for what I call the Lucy with the football. Okay. So I'm showing my age a little bit, but back in the day used to be a cartoon called Charlie Brown. And in that cartoon, Lucy used to always promise Charlie Brown that he was going to be able to kick the football, and she would sell him a dream that he was going to be victorious. And she would always give them these beautiful stories that he was going to be able to be the game-winning kicker. And every time she was just tricking him and suckering him into believing the dream she was selling. And every time, every episode, she pulled the football. Every time. every time. Every time. And you would think he would get it after being fooled over and over again. But every time, Charlie, because of the dream of being a hero, just like the dream of us wanting to win a Super Bowl, we subject to be suckers. I'm being honest, we subject to be suckers. So with James Washington going down, right, there's a lot of questions that you're seeing. Are they going to use Tony Pollard in the slot? Should they use Tony Pollard in the slot? Well, I'm going to be honest. This again is Lucy with the football, where every offseason they make the same promise, and then right when training camp starts, you don't see it anymore. They put it away. And at some point, I'm going to be honest, we're going to have to start noticing the patterns of the Dallas Cowboys. So let's just take a look real quick and see if I'm lying. All right. So here we go. Here's an article from the offseason just a month ago. And I was saying then that I didn't believe it. I was saying then I don't believe it. So Cowboys mini camp. So here's the mini camp. A lot of people did shows on this. A lot of people talked about this in articles. A lot of people, made a lot of content off of this. I never put my time into this because it's like I got to see it to believe it. Because how many times am I going to be Charlie Brown and Lucy keep pulling that football on me, right? And so Cowboys mini camp, this one says, one way, get rookie third rounder Jalen Tolbert up to speed, but another way, speed in the form of off to the races with Tony Pollard. And this was making the case of Tony Pollard playing receiver and lining up at receiver. Here's another one. Cowboys running back Tony Pollard taking reps at slot receiver. In efforts to maximize his touches in 2022 season, Tony Pollard has begun to explore expanding his skill set during the Dallas Cowboys OTAs. And we was drinking the Kool-Aid on it. And this is what he said: Cowboys running back Tony Pollard exploring receiver role at OTAs. I'm open to anything just to be on the field. So next year, or whenever we get us another type of Tony Pollard, because all you got to do is now look at what they saying now. Cowboys, Tony Pollard will remain number 2 back. All that offseason talk about, oh, he's going to play some receiver. Oh, and we falling for it. Lucy with the football. And they do it every year. This is not new. They literally do this every year. Every year. And see, I said it, nobody listened. Y'all need to go check out that show where Brad Sham talked about it. Brad Sham, man, Brad Sham killed it. He killed it. He absolutely destroyed it. I mean, facts on facts on facts. And Brad Sham said, when I hear about Tony Pollard playing receiver, I just look at people and say, bless your heart. Bless your heart. And see, Jerry, he even selling it. Look what Jerry said. They asked for running back Tony Pollard's ideal usage in 2022. Listen to this. He said, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, because he know what we want to hear. And he just go sell dreams and optimism all day. He said, I'd like to see him do anything that we're going to do with Cavante Turpin. I'd like to see him do all of that. We just need to get him in creative situations, but get the ball, get the touches. Selling dreams.
Yoga fire. Yoga flame.
And how do you know, boss? You've been negative, boss. You've been negative. They really are going to use him at receiver. If they do, I would eat crow and I would say I'm sincerely surprised. But this is what I'm looking at, especially when you look at what, remember what Amari Cooper said. They don't use players. They don't use players in games unless you see them doing it in practice. What are you seeing Tony Pollard do it in practice? Every clip of Tony Pollard is not him lined up in the receiver. You seeing him in that backfield. And you hardly seeing any concepts of him catching. Hardly any. Everything that you seeing with these leaked videos that's coming from, John McChoda, obviously Michael Gelkin and all of those guys. When they put out these videos, what are you seeing? What do you eyes see? That's the one time they leaked the ball out to him that they showed. And that's a leak out that came from the backfield. He was not lined up at no slot. He was not. Every time you seeing Tony Pollard, he is running with the ball. They're not doing any at all exotic packages and creativity to find new ways to get Tony Pollard the ball. So what you go see is more of the same. I'm telling you, from what they're doing. Unless they make a change within the next 3 weeks and you start seeing new concepts, we got the Lucy with the football all over again. And I'm just keeping it real with everybody, because I even asked Brian Broaddus this. So Brian Broaddus, he said somebody, obviously concerned about our offense, asked a question to G-Bag Nation, and they tagged Brian Broaddus. They said, with the wide receiver depth in question, I keep going back to Pollard playing a high percentage of snaps in the slot in college. My hope is Kellen uses every opportunity to get Pollard the ball in space this season. If that means taking snaps at wide receiver, let's do it. And Brian said, I believe that's what they would do. And I'm like, okay, wow, cool. So because he out there, I'm like, well, let me ask him this question. He didn't respond. Maybe he didn't see it, but he usually responds, but he probably busy as hell. He just didn't see it. But I asked the question. I said, are you seeing Pollard in the slot in training camp? And if yes, is he running any downfield routes? So he didn't respond. And that's my question to anybody that's out there. For anybody that's buying into the Lucy with the football dream, that's been sold to Charlie Brown? That's my question. What are we seeing out there? Because if we not seeing it, just like Cooper told us when he was talking to G-Bag Nation, if you don't see them doing it at practice, you not go see it in the game. That's why Coach Marv was like, I want to know the ratio that they're running out there to let me know what type of offense we likely preparing to be. Because you only have so many practices. You can only camouflage so much. At some point, you got to practice what you really getting ready to do. So I do recommend that everybody go back and watch this video where I do an even deeper analysis on a lot of different ways to use Tony Pollard. And I'm going to tell you right now, none of that stuff is being looked at or being displayed in training camp. And if y'all really think they hiding it and they're holding back, well, you know, I'm going to just be honest with you. Because just like y'all thought, oh, they're stashing Tony Pollard for the playoffs. And then in the playoff games, he only touched the football 4 times. Oh, we're load managing him. He's going to be our secret weapon for the playoffs. Trust me, it's going to work. Trust me. We getting ready to do something with Tony Pollard. Nope. So let me be honest with everybody. Instead of making this about Zeke versus Pollard, because that's what we do, and a lot of people doing that for clicks. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, some of these people do it because they stubborn as hell. I watch some of these same people who be talking about Pollard is clearly better. Pollard is clearly better. They were the same ones saying Lyle is clearly better. Lyle is clearly better, and Lyle is gone. He got bounced off this team, rightfully so, for the right reasons. He's gone. But these, oh, Lyle, he's clearly better than Steele. I'm going to tell y'all, it's a whole lot of media people, content creators, and everything that they giving their opinions based on ego, not what's true. And then when they put something out there, they don't want to go back on what they said, so they beat a dead horse. That's what's going on. And they making it a false competition between Zeke and Pollard, when the real conversation really should be Kellen Moore not creative enough in using Pollard. Can I tell you the truth? That's what's really going on. Emmitt Smith said the same thing. He said,
I looked at what we did. I thought we offensively tried to feature some guys that we went away from our playmakers. And that's not what you should do. That's why I'm questioning some of the things that transpired.
We see both these teams here at the Super Bowl. It's so easy for them to feed the ball to Cooper Kupp,
Right.
Odell, even Chase. Why is it so hard for Dallas to be able to feed the ball to CD and Amari?
Creativity, or the lack thereof creativity. When you have quality wide receivers like Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Gallup at the time, Wilson, and others, you create matchup issues by moving them all around. They should be able to run routes, and they should be interchangeable. I mean, we need to upgrade in our tight end position, to be honest with you. I don't think our tight ends were great pass blockers or run blockers. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to run the ball with Zeke and Pollard and so forth. Yes.
Yeah.
We needed that guy that can actually block and run pass routes at the same time. So no one can actually key on us when we're in certain situations. And I think offensively, we kind of got away from the main thing being the main thing. And they need to get their act together in terms of calling consistent plays that are giving our guys and doing the things that you talked about, creating ways for these guys to get the ball in their hands instead of the standard way of doing it. The creativity that I would expect from Kellen Moore needs to continue to evolve, and we need to take advantage of that.
it's the lack. He said it's no creativity or the lack thereof. That's exactly what Emmitt Smith said. So anyway, man, that's the measured Kool-Aid for the day, man. We giving y'all this measured Kool-Aid on Pollard because I don't want y'all being loosey with the football. I don't want you being Charlie Brown. I don't want you to continue to fall for the same old. It's a reason why we was telling you in this offseason, I will believe it when I see it, because they made that promise too many times for me to keep kicking that ball like Charlie Brown or Lucy. But y'all stay up, man. This Boss Cowboy Sports. We go continue to get his measured Kool-Aid. We likely go come with the final word today. With it being a soft practice, maybe not. We'll see though, man. But y'all keep them notifications on and y'all stay up. Peace.